very much, Karen, for introducing and getting our webinar ready for us all to take part in today. Just to give everybody a bit of an update, this is covering Module 3, Unit 4 of the ColegauCymru CPD, where we're looking at bilingual, multilingual environments in order to support our learning. What we have done, based on the people who showed an interest in being part of this webinar today, is analyse where it is that you work. And you'll see there's a chart in front of you now. So we've got a really good spread of people who are all concerned with making a better bilingual, multilingual environment for their learners across the whole of the country, with ACL, further education, work-based learning, all represented. So thank you very much for getting involved in this way. It's really important that we've got that really good spread, so fabulous news. So why bilingual? Pam dweithog. In front of you, you will see 4 segments, and what we'd like you to do now is use your pen to make a mark where you feel we have the need to be bilingual. What's the key driver for you? Maybe that you've got a couple of drivers. Just take your pens, make a mark. We see that we've got somebody who's marking themselves with an X there, saying that it's a range of different things. It's the Welsh language scheme within each of your institutions. It's ColegauCymru, driving bilingualism further education and its strategy. It's for employability and good customer service, and it's so a couple of people now indicating by for the crosshairs in the middle that they feel that it's all 4 of these things. So thank you very much for again testing that the pens work. That's really good to know, and that you are able to interact with us. So what I'm going to do now is hand you over to our presenters for the day, who are Anna Approbert and Lynn Connolly, who are going to actually take further why we bother to use bilingual classrooms to get the best experience for our learners.
Diolch, Jo, thank you. Croeso again. So I'm going to start by talking about our aims at Coleg Ceredigion, and that is to ensure that each student leaves with a better awareness of bilingualism. We hope that their Welsh language skills will have improved in one way or another, be it their vocabulary, grammar, or confidence to use what they have, even if it's just greetings. As well as this, we aim to give our students a Welsh experience during their time in the college. So we aim to make each student aware of what bilingualism and what the Welsh language and culture really means. As a result, they'll be able to understand and respect its importance in our communities and for the rest of their lives. So why do we need to think about bilingualism in college? This is a question that gets raised time and time again. There are obvious answers, which of course are true and important, and I'm sure that you've heard of all of these before, so I'm going to briefly cover them here. So the first one, to comply with the college's Welsh language scheme. So every college has, or at least should have, a Welsh language scheme. This includes short-term and long-term targets to work towards the goal of ensuring that both Welsh and English are equal within further education colleges. Also to comply with ColegauCymru's bilingualism in further education strategy. This is the current official document that includes our targets as the bilingual champions of the FE colleges. So over the last 5 years, bilingualism within the colleges has improved considerably, with the guidance of ColegauCymru's strategy and the government's targets, reports and meetings. Another reason, which we're all aware of, is Estyn, of course. So questioning bilingualism and Welsh delivery within the course is always on Estyn's agenda. Ensuring that it's touched upon naturally in each class session will ensure that there's no last-minute panics when they do ask for evidence of this. So our college has a unique strategy of bringing bilingualism into the main qualifications, but this could be another webinar all in itself. Another big reason is employability. So this is something we stress to our students time and time again. Having an extra language is an extra skill, and a very useful one too. So if 2 people had the same qualifications, but one can speak Welsh, employers would perceive it as something extra to have. And the final reason I'm going to cover is the bilingual brain. So numerous studies have proven the advantages of having 2 or more languages. So these include enhanced ability to concentrate, having a better functioning working memory, And also some research suggests that bilingualism may delay the onset of age-related dementia, including Alzheimer's disease. Again, this could be the topic of another webinar. So what we're going to ask you to do now is a little bit of activity. We've got 3 questions that we want you to answer. So we're going to bring those up onto the screen at the moment there. And they're going to be rated questions. So the first one there you can see is, how confident are you at the moment of teaching bilingually? 1 is not at all confident, and 5 being very confident on the rating scale. And if you can use your little pen tool, which you'll find just on the left-hand side, and do a circle or a dash, and rate that first question for us, that will give us a bit of a review of the audience that we've got today. So I can see those things come in. So we've got a there, which is really useful for us to know. Okay, looks like most people have probably rated that question. So we'll move on to the next slide, which has 2 further questions that you can rate. So the first one there, how confident are you about integrating the Welsh culture into your teaching practice? Same again, 5 very confident, 1 not so confident. So we've got a lot of confidence there, that's fantastic. And across the rating scale there, and also very efficient. You've moved on to the second question as well. How confident are you about integrating the Welsh language into your teaching? That's lovely. So a real spread. And that's really useful. Thank you very much for doing that. That's great feedback. Okay, so just moving on from those questions, and thank you for participating. Just want to talk about the vision that we have in Coleg Ceredigion. So as well as all those reasons that we've talked about, in Coleg Ceredigion we have another vision. So we don't want to see using the Welsh language as something to tick a box and be done with. We want our advice and activities to have a long-term effect. We want students to see and understand that the Welsh language is a living language and a language for living. It's an identity with a particular culture, which makes us who we are and how we live our lives in today's multicultural and multilingual society. So our approach here is to ensure that learners and staff are given a deeper understanding of the Welsh culture. This way they'll have a more positive attitude towards the language, and their willingness to learn will then follow naturally. So it can be a slow process, but it's always worth it in the end. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. What I'm going to do now briefly is just hand over to my colleague Anna.
Helo, shmai, pnawn da. Dwi'n mynd i fynd ymlaen a dweud ambell enghraifft i chi nawr o sut dyn ni'n dod â'r Gymraeg mewn i'r coleg ac i mewn i'r dosbarth. Today we'll give you some practical ideas on how we bring the Welsh into the classroom, which in turn creates a positive bilingual environment. We introduce it naturally in class sessions, tutorials, visits, and guest speakers' presentations, using informal and creative methods. There is no need for a distinction between Welsh and English. Both can be woven into one another. These examples encourage students to understand that the Welsh language and culture can be fun and something to embrace and enjoy. We'll guide you through the ways in which we support our tutors in terms of the Welsh delivery. We'll use health and social care and accountancy as examples of subject areas, but you can of course adapt them as you wish to suit your own needs and make them relevant to your own courses. Here is an example in health and social care. Firstly, a guest speaker on mental health. We invited Alaw Griffiths in to talk about her recent book on mental health, Gyrru Drwy Sorom. Alaw was driven to write this book with contributions from friends, some well known in the Welsh media, as a result of her own experience of not being able to receive the service through the medium of Welsh. She also wanted to raise awareness about the prevalence of mental illness, the stigma about it, but especially the lack of service available in Welsh. This is a quote from Alaw. There's a huge gap in the mental health service where the Welsh language is concerned. when the client is unable to receive the service in their own chosen language. It is crucial that clients who need to talk and express themselves in their mother tongue are given the choice. This is an example of raising our students' awareness of the advantages of being able to speak Welsh within the health sector when they move on to follow their careers in this subject area. Secondly, weekly sessions. I'll now guide you through an example of a session I held with health students, making the Welsh language relevant to their subject area. Warming up. Person I berson. This is a warm-up game to get the students moving, but also engages them with relevant vocabulary. The students walk or move around the room to music until I call out a body part, for example, penelin I benelin, elbow to elbow. They then stand next to another student, linking that body part. I call out the words in Welsh, but show the body part at the same time, so I don't need to translate. This game can go on, naming as many body parts as you wish. It's good fun when you call out body parts which are far away from each other, for example, head to toe, which makes participants get into peculiar positions. Second, clymau, knots. Another game working in groups of 4. The aim is to work together as a group. The task is for the group to only have the named body parts touching the floor. They also have to link together as a group. Usually this happens anyway so they can hold each other up. For example, 4 hands, 4 feet touching the floor, or 2 backs, 4 feet and 3 hands touching the floor, or just 4 bottoms. These 2 warm-up games are good for learners to link body parts with Welsh words by looking and listening. No need to translate or write them down. I use my body to point out the body part and say the names at the same time. Also, Welsh-speaking students who understand do the same. Therefore, the non-Welsh speakers follow. This is obviously relevant to health, but it can also be used as a general warm-up game. Building a character. Clai, clay. In pairs, students mould their partner into the following characters. For example, a paramedic, a patient, a lorry driver, a pregnant woman, or a motorcyclist. One needs to stand still, as if he or she is a lump of clay. The other moulds them into a shape, which represents the character. After they've finished moulding, they can then have a look around at all the other statues in the room. Before swapping roles, then they start again with another character. This is a stepping stone into building a character. The next step is still pictures. Students in groups form a tableau of the following situations one by one. For example, the A&E department. I usually count from 10 to 0 just to make them think on their feet, and it adds to the fun too. After they've formed the first one, I'll call out another one. For example, Ward y Plant, children's ward. They repeat the exercise, and so on. Other examples can be Pelydr X, X-ray, mamolaeth, or maternity. The next step is to create a story. Students then create 3 still pictures of a scenario, i.e., the beginning, middle, and end of a situation. For example, the situation could be the accident, or the birth, or the operation. They're given a little bit more time to plan these and to put them together. The next natural step would be to add words to each still picture, which then gradually builds up a dialogue in Welsh. Participants can say a little or as much as they want depending on how much Welsh they have. Quite often you see the students coming out of their shells. It's a great confidence booster. Drama is an excellent tool to build confidence in language skills because participants can hide behind their characters. Props and costumes also help and add to the fun. I'll now pass you on to Fleur and Rachel, two students who participated in these sessions, and they'll talk about their experience and what they gained from them. Os oes gyda chi unrhyw gwestiwn, allwch chi roed e yn y chat pane nawr. If you've got any questions, you could write them down in the chat pane now. Diolch.
And I'm Rachel. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what I did in Anna's lessons. So last year I was involved in interactive Welsh lessons run by Anna to help myself and my class improve our Welsh skills for when we started jobs in the healthcare sector. As a non-Welsh speaker, I came to these lessons with very little knowledge of the language, but I felt I needed this language if I wanted a chance to have a career in the health sector in Wales. In these lessons, we did role play, where a non-Welsh speaker and a Welsh speaker were given a role in a healthcare situation and told to show it to the class once the Welsh had been learnt and been performed. This particularly helped me to grasp the language in a more formal day-to-day way, and it made it easier to learn how to use Welsh for the workplace. This has gone on to help me acquire a job in a Welsh-speaking GP surgery as a receptionist, where I am put into these situations similar to the ones practiced in class on a day-to-day basis, and I'm able to confidently approach these situations with confidence, and I'm able to have small conversations with patients. I wouldn't have been able to have these conversations were it not for these lessons I did in class. We also played games that helped us pair common things found in hospitals with the Welsh words associated with them. I found this useful for when I did volunteer work at my local hospital, as I was able to easily identify my whereabouts at the hospital and also the various equipments staff needed me to get when I was working there, if they were put in Welsh. I found these lessons very insightful and helped me to grow my knowledge and understanding on the language. I'll now hand you over to Fleur.
Hello, Shmai. The Welsh lessons we received were a part of our course, and we started the lessons in September of 2015. I am a fluent Welsh speaker myself and didn't think that I would be able to get anything out of these lessons. When we started, Anna asked us what level of Welsh we were all at and what we wanted to study. Everyone in the class had a different level of Welsh, but we all agreed to study Welsh in health and social care settings because these are the career fields we will hopefully enter after we graduate college or university. During the sessions, we played Snap, which include pictures of different medical instruments or science, and we had to match the picture to the Welsh translation. We were also given labels of the different parts of the body and had to put them in the correct order on our fellow classmates, and we were also had to act out different scenes through the medium of Welsh. Through these lessons, some students were able to use their new language in their workplace, and it also helped others gain a new job in the health and social care industry. I have learned new words and have been able to keep my Welsh language strong throughout these sessions. I'll hand you back to Anna.
Diolch yn fawr, Fleur a Rachel. Symud ymlaen nawr i'r enghraifft arall. Moving on now to the second example, which is accountancy. I gave AAT students a worksheet with Welsh phrases used in accountancy. Key words within the phrases were in English. They were given a booklet of Welsh and English accountancy terms. The task was to find the Welsh term from the booklet and insert into the phrase. For example, beth yw eich account number os gwelwch yn dda? So they change the English into the Welsh by finding it in the booklet. So the answer to that would be, beth yw eich rhif cyfri os gwelwch yn dda? Again, participants worked in mixed Welsh language ability groups. This way, they were able to help each other out and learn from each other. Welsh speakers gained also by learning new phrases. I'll pass you back now to Karen, and she'll explain the next exercise.
Hello again. Yes, we're going to get you to do some work now. If you could just use one of your emoticons to let us know that you're still with us and that you're still following the webinar, and just to say Thank you to Rachel and Fleur. I can see a few people have put comments in and there weren't any questions, but if you do have questions from a learner perspective, please let us know in the chat pane. Okay, I don't need to explain the art. What a clever bunch we have here this afternoon. I just looked up at my screen and can see no explanation required. And you're all correct. Apart, yeah, there's going around the outside, so you get the idea. Activity. Well done, Eddie. That's all I can say. Fantastic. Okay, I'll move you on to the next slide. You clearly didn't need me, Anna. They're all following you perfectly. Do you want to take them through the next two slides where you're doing it for it? They've gone. Anna, I'm turning off my microphone. They're preferring you.
Okay, da iawn bawb. So this is another activity I use with AAT students. The task is to pair the picture in Word, and I can see that you've all got it. So we thought that you could go. So this is a simple visual activity that can be adapted to any subject. You can see that, yeah, you're on the second slide now. Pa mor dda I chi'n meddwl chi wedi wneud, chi'n arbennig wrth gwrs. You can also adapt them to the level of skills, the Welsh language skills that they have. These are quite easy. Da iawn bawb. Nawn ni symud ymlaen, we'll move on to the next slide. Felly, siaradwyr gwadd sydd â ni nesaf, guest speakers. As well as these activities within the classroom, we also invite numerous guest speakers in who are Welsh speakers and are role models, and good examples of showing how they use the Welsh language as an extra skill and as an advantage within the workplace. For example, we had Llion Pugh, Managing Director of Best of Wales, award-winning luxury holiday cottages for business students. Michael Harvey, a professional storyteller. He came in to talk to childcare students and gave an example of how to tell a story for young children. Elin Rhiannon from BBC Hair and Beauty, and she came in to demonstrate for hair and beauty students. Ruth Jane, a well-known artist with art students. Aneirin Caradog, a well-known poet, and he came in to do a rap workshop. Arad Goch, who specialise in theatre for children, they came in to talk to performing arts students. Ed Holden, a well-known international beatboxer and rapper as well, and he's quite popular because he's an excellent role model that can show how we can use the language all over the world. Hugh and Beth Roberts from ColegauCymru came into catering. Sue Jones-Davis, a bilingual yoga instructor, and Graham Jones, a bilingual web designer for IT. We also organise educational and social trips to reinforce the students' experience of the Welsh culture. As a result, it gives them a deeper understanding of what the culture is about. In this slide, you'll see trips to the Tryweryn Reservoir, the National Library, Kilmeri, Memorial of Llywelyn, last Prince of Wales, as well as social trips such as to the Jonathan programme as part of the Rugby World Cup and Llangranodd i'r camp. Ydych chi wedi cael unrhyw syniadau ar gyfer eich cwrs hyd yma? Os ydych chi, rhowch syniadau yn y chat pane. If you've had any ideas so far, can you write them down in the chat pane os gwelwch yn dda?
Hi, Anna. This is a question here from Lisa, asking you how you are able to ensure that both fluent and learner speakers get a useful experience in lessons.
The way we work is, I like working with mixed groups because they can help each other out. And I try to make sure that they work in groups where there's a Welsh speaker in every group. And if they're not so confident or they don't have any Welsh at all, the Welsh speakers can help them out and translate. So it's a matter of working together, collaborating as a group, and quite often, like Fleer said, as a fluent Welsh speaker, they might also learn phrases that they don't know already. So it works both ways. Okay, moving on.
Well, there is another
Oh,
question asking if you specifically teach Welsh lessons.
Yes, I do. I teach Welsh lessons also. If it's lessons and they want to learn how to speak rather than using it in the working world, I do gloywi, gwersi gloywi for childcare students if they are Welsh speaking already, just for them to better their Welsh language skills.
Okay, just picking up on something that Caris is saying from Bridgend, Fernanda Caris, about Welsh for Adults classes. So, any experience of that?
Yes, I do. I have been holding Welsh lessons for staff after teaching time for any staff members who feel that they want to better their Welsh skills, or if they're pure learners and beginners. I have been holding lessons, and Lynn has been one of our our learners in those lessons. Okay, symud ymlaen i'r sleid nesaf. Dyn ni hefyd yn trefnu teithiau addysgiadol a chymdeithasol. We also organise educational and social trips to reinforce the students' experience of the Welsh culture. Fi wedi dweud hwn, I've said this, haven't I? Moving on to the next one, which is a cultural activity. Yeah. This is the fun bit, the cultural activities and the enrichment activities. This coincides with the Welsh cultural calendar. These engage everyone, the staff and the students. Examples include Eisteddfodol as part of the St David's Day celebrations. We have competitions such as gargling calon lan, Jaffa cake eating, mime, singing out of tune, X Factor style, dance or mime, a West End musical, and tongue twisters, just to name a few. For Santes Dwynwen, we have examples include upcycling old planks of wood with carpentry students, blind date or Dragon's Den. Business students love to organise this and they take ownership of the activity. The Urdd Eisteddfod, including cogyrth, art and design, media, photography, childcare. We had quite a few successful students last year and we're hoping to increase on that this year. And then Shwmae Shwmae Day also, this year we made a music video which went viral on social media, and we'll play this video at the end for you. Now then, the next step is how to support Welsh-speaking non-Welsh speaking colleagues. We do encourage staff and students to watch TV programmes with subtitles to engage with the Welsh language. Hinterland is an excellent example of cutting-edge TV drama integrating and portraying both languages as a natural thing, where the characters shift from one language to the other like we do in our everyday lives. As part of the Learning at Work week, we held a staff bake-off. The task was to create the perfect picnic, which involved baking scones, putting the recipe in the right order, making a display, and writing a bilingual menu. This was great, a great way of getting staff out of the office or classroom and to interact in a fun bilingual environment. Also, we organised a generation game as part of Santes Dwynwen for motor vehicle students. They had to decorate a car for a wedding. So we try to think of activities that will appeal to different subject areas so that everyone can get involved. Now dyna ni, dwi wedi gorffen yn rhannu, that's my bit done. Dwi'n mynd I just trwyddo nôl I Karen nawr. Cyn gorffen, falle bod chi'n gallu meddwl am 5 peth allwch chi wneud yn y dosbarth fory. Falle bod chi wedi cael syniadau jyst wrth wrando ar hynny heddiw. So if you had some ideas of what you can do maybe tomorrow in the classroom, maybe write one of them down in the chat pane, and then I'll pass you back to Karen. Diolch yn fawr am wrando.
Diolch, Anna. That was fantastic. And I think what we found from the half hour and the ideas that Anna has given us, that whatever stage, you know, we looked at the beginning, we have a spread here joining us today, some that are feeling that they're at a more basic level in their Welsh, while we have some people who feel they are fully fluent in Welsh, that the ideas, I'm sure you've all found something today that you can use. Perhaps not tomorrow in your classroom. Tomorrow is Saturday, isn't it? So possibly it's Monday. We're giving you an entire weekend to think of what activities you can do. So I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes in the chat pane now to think of some ideas. You've had so many ideas from Anna, from the guest speakers, thinking back to the slide at the beginning for mental health issues, allowing learners to speak in the language of their choice. Moving through to the enrichment activities that we've just been looking at and that are still on the screen now. So let's have a look. So the bake-off, Nick's agreeing that that's a very good team building activity. I'm sure, Anna, it looks a lot of fun in the photos and I'm sure it was a great team building activity. And Susan, childcare students to label mathematical equipment in Welsh. Great idea, Susan, thank you. We're just going to give some others. So we've had some ideas from Nick and from Susan. We're just looking, if you could just let me know in the by using one of your emoticons that you're still listening and that you're still with us. So I just want to give you a couple more minutes. We have a few minutes left. I want to leave time to show you the Shemai video. It's definitely worth watching. Thank you. We've got some people still using their emoticons to let us know they're still here. Claire's thinking of researching 10 things to do in Wales. I think that was a really good point that Anna's made today. She's always said, embed a little bit of culture. So if we look at Welsh culture, and often the language will follow. So it's about looking at Welsh culture as well as Welsh language. And Donna is suggesting making use of your Welsh speaking learners within the group to help support non-Welsh speaking with the pronunciation of Welsh words. I'm wondering if that's directed at me, Donna, but I'm doing my very best this afternoon with my pronunciation. Adult learners, yes, Welsh history, definitely. And often Welsh myths and legends. I'm not sure if Anna's actually mentioned today, but I know you're planning on doing an animation project using Gelert, Beirdd Gelert, aren't you, Anna?
Am I on? Yeah. It's an idea that's actually come from our IT tutor, that he wants to bring in the Gelert story into the class, and they're going to make because they've got an animated project or unit that they need to do, and he wanted to bring the culture in as part of how we bring the culture into the actual lessons. And then he brought this idea to me and I thought it was brilliant. So we're going to be working together. I'm going to bring somebody in, maybe a storyteller, to tell the story, and then they're going to continue with that and create the animated version of Gelert.
Thank you, Anna. I mean, what a way to embed communication, digital literacy, group working, bit of the wider employability skills. I think with a little bit of thought, we're getting a bit of numeracy in there and application number as well. And then we're completely happy that we'll have got all 7 skills involved in that project. There are so many ideas coming through, and I know I'm missing some because my chat pane's quite small. Just picked up from Denise, you're looking at World War I poetry in Welsh. Vicky, I missed yours. If you want to repost it. What we will do at the end is we'll copy and paste the chat transcript, and so everybody can share the ideas that we've had today. I think I'm only going to give you about 1 more minute to see if you have any ideas or any questions that you want for our learners or for Anna. Caris, I know you were asking about the percentage of Welsh speakers. We're going to just confirm that for you and we'll email out the answer to that. Shemai music video. Yes, Nick, where are you from? Are you? Oh, he's upstairs. You're in Coleg Ceredigion. The video's coming up, Nick. So you'll be having a look to see if you're star. Are you trying to say you've got a starring role? Somebody, I missed the maths there. I need to scroll back up to see. In March. Oh, I'm missing it. Somebody mentioned maths. I'm not sure who it is. Can you see it? Celebrate Welsh Music Day on the 12th of Feb. Thank you, Claire. In March is Mathematical Pi, Wales Day on March the 14th. Oh, yes. Pi Day, that sounds good. Yeah, fantastic. Yes, Santa Steinwyn this Monday, which was one of the reasons we changed the date of this webinar because Anna was otherwise engaged with preparations for Santa Steinwyn Day. So if you have a loved one, I think you had another project, Anna, in carpentry where you made the carpentry students had some pieces of wood and they would be putting Welsh words on their pieces of wood for Santa Steinwyn Day. Obviously that was for last year. Vicky, you've reposted. Thank you. Carpentry is doing comms, watching an S4C programme. There's so many lovely ideas coming up, Vicky. It keeps scrolling out of my chat pane, but we will. Translation, Clonca Thonk sounded good. And saying, is there a translation for this title?
Well, clonk means talk, to have a chat, and thonk is mutated from tonk, which comes from music and singing. So we do try to sing a song. Nothing bad about singing a song in the morning and having a clonk, basically. So it's an informal session. And I also bring in, I don't know, something, if it's that time of year with the Welsh calendar, so it's relevant all the time. But the stress is on the informal and making it enjoyable.
Isn't it fun and enjoyable? So if you picked up anything from today, it's that you want to be having a lot of fun. It wants to be enjoyable. If you're not feeling so confident with the language, start with the Welsh culture. We've had these ideas of the Welsh poetry, looking at Welsh myths and legends. We have such a wonderful culture here in Wales that's definitely a place to start. It's 10 past and I really would like to play on our way out our Shwmae Shwmae video just for Nick and for Anna and for all those in Coleg Ceredigion watching in. See if you can spot yourself. I know that there are other colleges that also celebrate Shwmae Day and do lots of activities. It's great if you can keep sharing with us. On behalf of ColegauCymru, can I say thank you to Lynn Connolly and Anna Roberts today, and also, of course, to Rachel and Fleur, who are busy translating for us as we go through the webinar. So we've kept them very, very busy. If you could just show your appreciation using one of the emoticons, that would be really, I'm just going to clear if you've used an emoticon. Thank you. We've got rounds of applause for all four in the room here in Coleg Ceredigion. We're going to play out with this video. So as soon as the video has ended, it is roughly 3 minutes long. You just need to exit the meeting by just clicking on the red cross on your laptop. Thank you very much for your participation today. You will find, obviously you've had a couple of emails from us over in the last couple of days, which is why you've managed to join us in the room today. I will send you one final email that will give you a link to the recording. Please feel free to share that with anybody that would find it useful. Also, I will send you a link to some feedback because we're running a series of webinars and we really would appreciate what you found useful today and ways that you think we could take this forward. So please respond to that or you'll get many more emails from me asking for your response. So I'm going to once again say thank you very much for everybody. Thank you to Esther from JISC as well, who has been supporting us today in our third webinar. And I'm going to play out on our Shwmae video. Please enjoy, please dance, please sing along. Once I've shared it with you. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the video. technical difficulties here because the video is not playing on my screen. If it's playing on your screen, please let us know. Oh, here we go.
Pwy sy'n gwisgo dillad gwyn, a pwy sy'n cerdded ar y llyn, a pwy sy'n malu awyr yn y dre. Mae'n bwrw cwrw yn y nen, canebaliaid wedi bwyta anti-gwen, ond mae ywncws a pharaya wedi gweld dim mas o'i le. Siwmai, siwmai, iawn ond mae'r criw ar gôr, rhywle yn y dre, wyt ti'n drist fy ffrind, dwedwch beth sy'n poen i ti. Mae ei bysedd wedi rew i bant, bod gwarel yw dod gyda plant, a mae llygaid bach yn rowlio ar y llawr. Anodd yw i weld y dydd, a'i drwns ar ei ben a'i wyneb yn y bryd, ond rwy'n ffonio am y peiriant tan i ddod yn nawr. Siwmai, siwmai, iawn ond mae'r criw ar gôr, rhywle yn y dre, wyt ti'n drist fy ffrind, dwedwch beth sy'n poen i ti. Beth ers i ffwrdd gyda'r Indiaid coch, naw yn y bore gyda'r gloch, gan adael yr eneth nwy fus yn y tŷ. Roedd ceffyl dwl ac o môl coch, a tarwn eistedd a phaint ar ei boch, heb darn o wilsif a terau a hetiau pli. Siwmai, siwmai, iawn ond mae'r criw ar gôr, rhywle yn y dre, wyt ti'n drist fy ffrind, dwedwch beth sy'n poen i ti. Wedyn daeth y buzz ti ac an mewn fan, gyda stan roedd blen, ac egr stan, yn smygu o'r hyn bif heddwch ac yn i fete. Eber pennaeth y boes mewn glas mor ffôl, mae'r crwydri'n unig ar dy hôl, ond y tebodd tarwn eistedd. Be ti'n meddwl? Yn ble? Siwmai, iawn ond mae'r criw ar gôr, rhywle yn y dre, wyt ti'n drist fy ffrind, dwedwch beth sy'n poen i ti. Unwaith eto, siwmai, iawn ond mae'r criw ar gôr, rhywle yn y dre, wyt ti'n drist fy ffrind, dwedwch beth sy'n poen i ti. Siwmai, iawn ond mae'r criw ar gôr, rhywle yn y dre, wyt ti'n drist fy ffrind, dwedwch beth sy'n poen i ti.
Diolch and hwyl fawr. We're signing off from Coleg Ceredigion.